and welcome to episode 12 of the Moose Hunt Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Chris Richards. I want to take a moment to thank you all for tuning in. Whether you're a first-time listener, you've been following us through every episode since we started this really fun and exciting project. Appreciate you tuning in to hear our stories and hope you learn and laugh along the way with us. Today, we're talking with OMM Outfitters founder and owner, Mr. Nathan Theriault. We're going to dive into the second of our Hall of Fame bull stories, a bull called Troubadour. Nate, how are you today, my friend?
Doing awesome, Chris. How you doing? Great to be here.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I just wrapping up the Christmas season. We're between Christmas and New Year's here. Was Santa good to you this year?
Yeah. He's holding out on the true presents. The antlers.
the shed antlers, right?
The sheds.
I joked with my wife. I said, I asked Santa to stop by the Swarovski store, and he managed to miss that stop along the way. So
it might be for good reason.
There wasn't anything in my stocking from there, but anyway, so really excited to jump onto this story of a really exciting hunt, a bull with history. And for any new listeners, if you haven't heard the first Hall of Fame bull story, we really would encourage you to go back and listen to episode 5. We actually talk about the story of the horseshoe bull with our guide, Tom Hamilton. But today, we're going to be jumping into this bull that we belovedly know as Troubadour. And if you go on to OMM Outfitters social media pages, check out Facebook, Instagram, you can see pictures, aerial video of this just magnificent bull, just a monarch of Eastern Canadian moose. And we're going to kind of unpack the full story of the pursuit of him. Nate has a lot of history in pursuit, seen him over multiple seasons, and that's kind of the plan for today. But I think, Nate, jumping into that, how did this moose get that name? I think that's what a lot of people are always curious about. Why do you guys call them what you call them?
Yeah. Well, as always, Chris, great intro, and just master of what you do here. And thank you. And Merry Christmas to you. And hope Santa was good. And Merry Christmas to all our listeners. And Happy New Year. Yeah. So, great story. I mean, they all are. I mean, so 20 years of doing this, I guess you get bored a little bit. And we're blessed to have all the resources to really follow these animals and to learn about these animals and the habitat that they live in and how it changes and how they adapt and diversify. So I guess we've gotten to this point, and this particular bull, is actually I'd say the most unique part about him is, and we call him a legacy bull, because we actually followed him over 3 seasons before we were, able to actually get it done. And hence the name, 3 years in Troubadour. And I'm not sure if, I am sure most people have heard the country music song Troubadour.
Yeah.
I think it was George Strait or something like that. I'll
Google it real quick.
But so Troubadour is a wanderer, and this particular bull, I mean, so what we had to figure out was, he showed up over a 3-mile stretch, as a crow flies. And saw him in velvet. We got some great aerial shots of him. We finally, figured out his route, and were able to get cameras set up on him. And we got, velvet pictures of him this year. And of course, once we start getting that, we're really getting close, and chances of sealing the deal are greatly improving at that point. So, over the course of, so I guess it was in the first time we saw him would have been the spring of 2019, or actually no, it would have been the fall of or early fall of 2019. We saw him in velvet, and I guess everyone, when you see that big pan, it just gets you excited.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see a 70-inch bull that doesn't have much palmation and not get completely jacked up. But, bull with good palmation just gets you fired up, gets me fired up, I guess. And
oh yeah,
right away, just stuck in my head. And, we're continuously learning here, even despite the fact, been doing this for 20 years. So obviously was, top on my mind, and obviously hunted that area, and never got him. So that would have been the 2019 season, and then the winter of.
When you think of that 29, when you think of that season, Nate, for 2019, did you have any close calls, or was he like a ghost?
I'm not sure. Like, if the guys had a chance, I don't think it was like, we went in there was bulls everywhere. We're just hunting. I guess if we saw him, we saw him. It wasn't like, all right, we're going after this bull. We knew he was in there, but it was a weird, where we'd seen him was like on one side of the river. So we got guys hunting the other side of the river. We had guys hunting that side of the river, and there's bulls on both sides of the river. Guys were seeing good bulls. And I mean, it was just, but no shots fired on him, obviously. And nobody was like, my goodness, that bull was massive, and, I'll remember this.
Right.
None of that stuff going on, which he was impressive back then. Don't get me wrong. Like, nice fans, but he was probably just high 40s at the time, because he was only, I think the widest we'd ever seen him was not this season, but last season. And we got pictures of that. That was just something I actually took from my cell phone, an aerial photo with my cell phone. It was actually a video, and which just actually played. That's that video that we were talking about, and that's on the Facebook page.
Yep.
And he was wide. He was really nice last year. I mean, probably even nicer last year than he was this year. But, hey, he got one more year to breed and spread his genetics around. No complaints. He's a beautiful bull. Ended up being 51 inches, But going back to that 2019 season, no encounters with him, nothing out of the ordinary. And then we didn't see him in the winter. That was the same winter we were on another bull called Big Dodge, which is actually right behind me here.
Yep. There. Right above your head.
So attention was like completely off of that Troubadour bull and on to Big Dodge. And we'd actually, that fall, hence the name Big Dodge, he dodged a bullet. We had put a bullet in him. And so that was like full focus. And we found the sheds. And then the following year, we were able to harvest him 200 yards from where we'd put a bullet in him, to like 300 yards from where we found his sheds. I mean, right there. And
right.
That video's on the YouTube channel. People want to check that out. But so skipping ahead to 2020, of course, Big Dodge is gone. We're kind of thinking back into the catalog of bulls, and we decided to go head over to Troubadour country. So we get over there, and my goodness, there he is. He's beautiful. We actually we got Roger Stevens laid out some great pictures of him, winter photos with long range lens, and that was kind of really the start of it. Like, let's figure this bull out, and he was tough. I mean, Big Dodge was easy, so to speak. Some bulls are easy, and some are just a challenge, And we were able to put the pieces together quickly for some of these other bulls, but this bull was one that was going to be a challenge. Going forward, that would have been the 2020 season, and then into the 21 season, we never saw him with Velvet, but we did see him again in an area we had seen him before. So now we were starting to figure out his travel corridor. 21 season rolls around. We dabbled with him. We played with him. I think we were close. Didn't quite work out. We never laid eyes on him, but I'm pretty sure we worked him. I can't remember who was in there. Might have been Tommy. I even think I made a tour up through there with somebody, but and we didn't. We just weren't able to get him in front of anybody. So then, in the 21 winter, this was Bryce and I just flying. This is before we got set up with aerial photography equipment. We spotted this bull in a place he always is. I mean, I was positive we were going to find the sheds. I mean, we had a crew out there. I think, did you come up?
Oh, yeah. I remember.
I mean, he was right there, Chris. It's like usually these bulls we can pinpoint. All right, he's going to drop within a week. You know what I mean? And he should have been right there. And we hunted hard. I mean, literally, I think we did 100 miles in like a, 100-acre parcel. Every inch of it. We grid this way. We'll grid that way. All right, let's cross the road, grid up, move 10 feet, come back. I remember going up. Yeah. And I got back and I was so beat to snot because it's like just out of the winter, coming out of hibernation. And I get home, I'm like laying on the couch. I'm like dog tired. And my wife's like, "What happened to you up there?" I'm like, "Oh, it was awful." Troubadour killed me.
It killed me.
But it was fun. We found some incidentals, like some other antlers, some bulls in there. But,
Did we? Yeah, we did. Did we find? I can't remember.
Kenny found a good one. That year
we found the pan bull. Kenny did. Yeah, Kenny found a good one. Yeah.
No, the pan bull.
That was 20.
Bull, yeah, that would have been
the winter prior.
It would have been the year before Tommy got the horseshoe bull, because we were looking for the horseshoe bull sheds.
Yeah.
And we found pan bulls. Actually, that's that one behind me in the corner.
Right.
So we get in there, we're looking for the sheds, come up dry. Can't believe it. I still can't believe it. Who knows? We may come across them again. I don't know. And maybe somebody found them, If they did and they're watching this, let me know, because we will buy those for really good money. You'll recognize them. Name your price.
Send a direct message on Facebook.
Yeah. So that would have been this spring, right? Yeah, this spring. So
yeah.
So now we're on them. Now we've seen them over here, we've seen him over here, and it's about 3 miles in between. He liked to winter in this area, and then he would always spend like velvet and breeding season over here. So over the period of those these seasons, we figured out where he spent most of his time. So he would winter over here and kind of velvet, work his way up, lose his velvet, breed, and this is where he spent most of his time. And it was more or less easy, and it was awesome. Point. It was a great, Aaron was a guide, and it was harvested by a couple veterans, great people, awesome guys, super stoked it worked out for them. And what an incredible story and history. I mean, every one of these things, like once we got Big Dodge, I'm like, just can't be anything better than that. And and then all of a sudden the legacy bowl, it's just so rewarding when it all comes together.
Yeah, absolutely. I know when I because I was guiding that week out of the inside, and I'd got back. I think they got him like the first day of the season, right?
Yep.
Yep. And I remember I got back, and that was kind of I don't even think I'd got out of my truck, and I heard someone say, "Oh, Troubadour's in the cooler," and I was like, "No." I gotta go see him. I gotta go see him right now. And what a beautiful, beautiful bowl. And as I said, people checking pictures out, you have to see it. It really is just that palmation, almost that Alaskan look for a Maine moose to look like that. Just exceptional in every way.
Yeah. Really, really cool. How he swept around, and and you can go and you can look at the pictures over the years, and he really kept that, his frame, and some of his characteristics. He held it really good. Some bulls changed quite a bit, but he really kept his look.
Now, you touched upon something in there that I thought was really interesting, and kind of want to unpack a little more. And pursuit, sometimes you see these moose in these areas year after year, and you can kind of pattern them. But with these big dominant bulls, so to speak, they are all individuals, it does seem. They don't really necessarily, they aren't all from the playbook. They have unique behaviors. You mentioned Big Dodge was easy, so to speak. Troubadour, maybe not so much. Was that just because of movement, or what do you see as the big differences with these big bulls when you think of one versus the other?
Yeah, it's and there again, I mean, I don't know. It's an ever evolving educational experience that just so blessed to be able to be a part of and enjoy, and the management that the state is using to continue to have this kind of opportunity that we have, is just we're just so lucky to be in such a great state and have this resource, and
Yeah.
and it's every year you just know it's going to be something a little different, and you just, I guess, I'm at the point now where I don't expect anything, and I don't not expect anything. Like it could be anything.
Right.
Whatever
Yeah.
you think it is, it could be different. It's all about being there. It's all about just kind of putting the time in, and coming up empty-handed. Putting 100 miles on the
Yep.
feet to try to find the sheds and not have it happen. You're still learning out there. You're still looking. You're seeing other sign. You're trying to put the pieces together. Picking apart forest types, and I guess the one thing that would really stand out to me is with any moose is they're just not going to bust through stuff that you and I can't walk through, more or less. They're going to pick a route through an area that you and I would be like, wow, this is a good way to go through. They're going through that way. Like we're, say it how you will or whatever, call it what you want, call it lazy, call it, we don't want to kill ourselves out there, but
Right.
we're going to
Whatever.
pick the path that is, of least
Yeah.
resistance. And these bulls do that too. So, for us, when we're trying to figure out how these moose are moving through the area, now don't get me wrong, like they will go through stuff to fight another bull or to run another bull off, or, to, run a cow out of a spot, place that, they wouldn't normally go there if they're just doing their own, day-to-day routine. But when they're just doing their day-to-day routine, they're really traveling areas that you and I would travel. And, I guess once you kind of figure out that piece of it, then you can kind of start to get into the the I guess the mental process that
Mm-hmm.
these moose are going through, and in each individual area, and they definitely 1000% every bull has certain places it just likes to be,
Yep.
and some of those places are wide open, you'd surprise you. Others it's
Right.
really thick. I mean, we we being able to um, use our aerial tactics definitely helps us to see some, but it
Yeah.
is so thickly wooded down there, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
we see such a small amount of what's down there that there's only a certain amount of animals we can actually be able to do this with, I guess.
Well, not only
With,
that,
other than with trail cameras and everything else that we would put into play.
right. But you bring up that point to, you know, aerial scouting and photography, and it's a great tool, but just because you see a moose necessarily doesn't mean you can get in there physically yourself. There's that,
Yep.
just that can be, I think it's funny. It was, sometimes it's, oh, we saw him up the brook. We just got to get in the brook and go up. Well, that brook might have 12 beaver dams, but where you can put the canoe in the water,
You might step on a trout.
where you saw, right. So, it's a tool, but it's far from everything, because nothing beats that on the ground kind of knowing. And I think what I love about these stories is, and particularly moose hunting, one thing I love about it is there's this build almost to this like snap ending. You think about 3 years coming together. Like, how long did that transaction happen, probably with Aaron and Hunter, of seeing moose, getting a gun up, and shooting a moose? 7 seconds?
No time at all. Actually, the more time was
Right.
packing him out.
That's right.
You
Right.
spent
But,
a lot,
like,
lot more
you
time with
almost
the
think
moose
about
packing
it.
him out.
That's right. That's right. But you almost, you build and build. And what I love about it is it's almost like when it's supposed to happen, it happens. Like, it just happens. Like, you turn a corner, you do the right call, and they're just there. It's like God just dropped them in front of you. I swear, sometimes is how it
Oh,
works.
he's the reason for all of this. You stepped on that one for sure, and you also nailed something else too, Chris. It's you know the bulls obviously don't live in a small area
Right.
all the time, and a lot of that area it's just places you just, I mean, you might be able to go in there, but you're just not really going to probably be able to put somebody in the position to have an ethical shot.
Right.
And it's you got to stay out of those areas. He might be in there. He's not going to be in
Mm-hmm.
there forever. And
Right.
if you can figure out, where he's going to be at some point in time, and you just wait for that right moment, and in the meantime, you have ways to get into there that are going to be conducive to wind direction and all these other aspects, and be a good place to put somebody in front of them to take a good shot, but it's tough.
Oh, it is. It is. And that's a good point. I mean, there's one thing to go in by yourself and try to walk up and see a moose. It's another thing to bring another 1-2 people with you. You never know their limitations, their abilities, their gear. Sometimes, it's all a part of it.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And what I love about, the stories is that it's always a revolving cycle. We have a season and we're already scouting. I think about, I've made notes even, actually, in my notebook here on I really got to check that spot out that I happened to go through that I'd never been in before that I tried, because the wind on the Wednesday of the September season was so bad. I had to try a different spot because I didn't want to burn my good one. You know, it's like already starting. And so kind of, where are you at? What's it looking like in northern Maine? You know, what are you seeing out there being in the plane? I saw a little Facebook activity already. Kind of, what are you seeing so far?
Yeah, it's it's interesting. Yeah, so it's been weather for us has been a factor. I can't tell you. I've talked to a lot of people across this country, and we've been getting hit with some stuff, man. We got 70-mile-an-hour winds the other day. I saw my deck fly by me like that movie.
Twister.
What was it? The Tornado or Twister.
Twister.
I was waiting to see a moose go flying. You know?
The cow. I mean, remember the cow? The cow and the tornado in the movie?
That was my grill.
That's right.
No joke, man. I mean, it was impressive. I mean, you could have flew without an airplane. Just put your arms out, you know?
Right. That's right. Let's go look. Let's go scouting.
Yeah. It was, so yeah, it's been, we've been working through that. We've got some rain. We've still got snow, which is good. We don't have a lot of snow, it's tougher for us when it comes to finding the sheds. Snow really kind of keeps them locked into a tight spot, which helps us significantly. On the flip side of that, that's a selfish side.
Right.
The good side is this is like the third winter now that they've had easy winters. To me, an easy winter is when they come out of the rut and they are able to go and feed and do whatever they want to do without expending much energy to regain what they lost. And the big bulls, I'm talking about big bulls, the breeding bulls, and to regain some of that energy and stamina and steam they lost, which is going to help them to carry through the winter. I think no matter what we get for snow at this point, they're going to be much better off just having had an easy time up till now. We got about 10 inches of snow, I'd say. Seeing some great stuff out there, really excited. I mean, we had some fantastic flights where we saw more bulls than cows.
Wow.
Yeah. And very good age class, a lot of young bulls in the, 2.5 to 4.5 year old range. And then, really good number of like mid 40s, high 40s, and a decent number. I think the number that I guess I've been seeing of 50 plus, which is, I'm very impressed with. There's a lot of good bulls in the horizon, a lot of bulls that I'm looking at right now in the low 50s, high 40s. I mean, these things, are going to put on some good size for next year. They're going to be some impressive animals out there. Trophy quality is looking really good. I feel super promising about everything I'm seeing.
Well, that's awesome to hear, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than that, just laying out the groundwork for next year. And, Bryce and I we started to get into a few pieces. We're trying to be careful, really want to, we're really trying to get up there now, just haven't had the weather. So we've been venturing around, mostly on snowmobile right now, hiked into a few places, sweat our biscuits off today, soaking wet, drenched with sweat, miserable, wondering why we did what we did, type of thing. Came out empty, found a deer antler. And I mean, that was, I don't know how that happened. Driving into a spot, tree across the road. Bryce is like, let me jump out, I'll cut it. I'm like, don't worry about it, we'll go around it. Well, that didn't work out too good. I'm hung up on a log. Bryce is out grabbing the ski. Next thing I know, something pops up out of the ground. I look down, it's a deer antler. Bryce pounces on it like a cheat on a gazelle. I mean, it was, it might have as well been like 160-inch side of a buck. You know what I mean? It's this little tiny 4-point thing. We just don't see these things, So that was our excitement. But no, it's fun. Just I'll tell you, we look at each other and we're like, man, it's awesome being out here, and it's just fun. It's great being out there. Everything's looking really good. We are seeing, so, Chris, as you know, our area, is about 15 miles squared in 3 different zones, and doesn't sound like much, but it's a big area. And the moose that we're seeing, if you were to take the numbers of moose that we're seeing and spread them across, I mean, we're talking some, quite a bit of moose per square mile. If you spread the moose that we're seeing out, I haven't put a pen to it, and I'm not good with fractions, so I'm not a biologist. I'm not going to speculate, but really liking it, and seeing
nice.
Positive things out there.
Nice. How often, just curious, do you ever like spot sheds from the plane in the winter? Is that common?
Yeah, unfortunately, because it's dangerous. Is that an antler? I don't know.
Sure.
Let's get a better look at it.
Let's get a little lower.
Let's get a little lower. Like we're already low enough.
Right.
It's believe it or not, they stand out really good. White when there's snow. White snow, and the more snow, the better. Like if there's a lot of snow and it covers up a lot of the small underbrush, and it just sticks out really well. Big Dodge, we spotted one of his sides from the plane. The Sweet Bull, which is that bull, we spotted one of his sides from the plane, and then we were able to get in there and find the other side. So yeah, it definitely happens. We haven't done that this year, but we will. Every year we spot them.
Right.
And then it's this mad dash. Let's go!
I'm sure. I'm sure.
and Chris, like everything looks bigger from the plane. So here's this antler.
Always.
Like and we're like, drive, unload the sled quick. There's so many people out there driving around looking for these antlers. Like we really just try to look for very specific bulls. We're not just out there like pounding the roads looking for sheds, but when you see one from the plane, it's like, you got to get to it, and we're like, risking our lives to get to this thing. Like it's the end of the world. You know what I mean? And we get it and we're like, oh, that's it. I don't know.
Right.
Something about the antler.
You're committed when, I don't know if you've ever done things like that. I've done stuff like this. When you start the snowmobile right after you get it in the bed of your truck and let it run while you drive,
just
so that it's warmed up. Leave the sled running so it's warmed up when you get there, so you can just back out and go. Because the 2 minutes to let it warm up when you get there, you can't afford it, right?
No, it's off the truck and it's go.
That's right. It's got to be warmed up, ready, idling in the bed. Let's go. I love it. Now, with winter also comes other activities. So I got to ask, is there any snowmobiling yet up there? Are they grooming? What's the snowmobile trail report? I got to ask. Sidebar here.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I've been asked that a lot. All the boys are like, what's going on? Can I come up? No, don't come up here. Like it's just.
It's not worth it.
They're still trying to clean up trees that are folding down lines on the side of the road right now, let alone, the trails and stuff. But no, I mean, we just, the freeze up's good. We actually, Bryce got out yesterday, which would be Tuesday. I don't know. I don't keep track of days this time of year. And 7 inches of ice in the cove. Like nice. In front of my place, in front of the marina, which has been frozen the longest. And then I'm thinking probably about 3 inches in other spots. But I think by the end of the week, the lake is going to be passable, and then another nice. Foot of snow. We got a really good base. It's going to be good. And Chris, I can promise you, it's going to be here. I'm excited too.
I know.
but
I know.
I'm like
I
trying to be patient because I got middle of July. I got to go to SHOT Show and see
Yep.
some of our friends out there, and then of course middle of February. Very excited about this. I'm going to be going out to Tennessee, Nashville for
Hmm.
SCI, and going to be representing Kuya out there. Going to be
Nice.
helping them at the booth. So if any of our followers are out there, whatever, want to come talk antlers and moose and whatever, and talk about the best camo in the industry and products in the industry, we'd love to see you out there. So that's going to be coming in mid-February. So trying to keep my excitement level down a little bit on the snowmobiling, but man, I'm pumped.
I know. I am too. I am too. I my sled is just so polished and shined up and like ready to go. Like
Dude, I can
itchy.
just feel the speed from here. That kitty is purring.
The kitty's purring. The kitty's purring. Oh, that's awesome. Well, that's awesome. Those shows you'll be going to, man, that's going to be a blast.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Shot show. It's pretty cool. It's basically all the brands in the outdoor industry. It's where buying groups go, like Cabela's or Bass Pro. It's all the newest products out there. And we work with a lot of outdoor companies. So it's just nice to go out and see everybody, and it's a good time. So
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be good to get out there, and then Kuyu asked me to go out to SCI, which normally for quite a while, it was in Vegas where SHOT Show is,
Hmm.
and now it's in Tennessee. I think it's here in Tennessee for 3 years, and then I think it's going to be in Florida. I'm not sure, but Tennessee is kind of cool. It's Nashville. It's
Yeah.
kind of in our neck of the woods over here, so to speak, and a great show, great outfitters there. Great Kuyu's there. Swarovski's going to be there. Some really good outdoor industry companies, along with some of the best outfitters, in the world.
Nice. Nice. I love it. One thing I will tell you, Nate, I am a huge believer in my Kuyu gear. I absolutely love it, particularly for moose hunting, because, I mean, as you know, as good as anyone, moose hunting weather varies by the hour. I mean, how many times you have a frosty 30-degree morning and it can be 70 degrees at noontime. And what I love about my gear, particularly, I think my favorite feature of my Kuyu is, number one, I'm not exactly, a chiseled from stone trimmed man.
I
So
disagree.
it's stretchy. Well, it's got that stretch elasticity to it. So it's never restrictive, which I love. But my favorite feature is the venting system and ability to control temperature, and being able to wear the same pair of pants when it's frosty in the morning, and then opening up the leg vents and opening up your, whatever, and wearing it through the middle of the day in the heat. I've never run anything that I can just wear all day through moose season and regulate temperature like that. I love it.
Awesome stuff. Layering, like you said, and just keeps the moisture off of you. It's really a diverse camouflage. It works really well. One of the things that I'm really enjoying right now is the down that they make. It's so
Mm-hmm.
lightweight, and you put it on.
Yes.
I swear when I put this stuff on, I feel like I'm putting a ball of fire on me. It literally is that hot, and you can take it off. It's
Yeah.
just so packable, and I mean they're constantly creating new products and just always trying to come up with something that's going to work better for different situations and applications. And I just love it. So much more comfortable out there now. And you guys we can't see each other.
Too. Right. That's right. That's right.
Chris, you over there? No, I'm
good
not.
Point too is, no, I'm not. But to your point too, how light the gear can be and be warm. I grew up wearing, layers and layers and huge wool jackets and stuff, and don't get me wrong. I mean, I'd be warm, but my God, sometimes I'm kind of out of the woods. If it rained a little bit, your clothing would be 45, 50 pounds, weighing you down. And I think what I found investing in the KUIU gear was a transition to my apparel working for me, not being something to work through, was what I really found when I kind of started wearing the stuff.
Yeah, I guess, and I didn't, and I'm like you, you know what I mean? What we wore back then, we didn't think about it. But now that we're
Right.
wearing this, it's like, what were we missing here? It's like, it's a big difference.
I know.
You just don't think about it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't think about it. It's until it's, you're wearing it, and then you're just like, wow. And like, KUIU is really, their pinnacle is like, the sheep hunting, everything you're going to live in is in your backpack for 10 days. You know what I mean? But it really translates into what we do as well. And obviously, we're going home every night or going back to camp, wherever it is, and, drying off. And, but during the day, there are times where, we're dealing with a 50-degree temperature change. We might be moving through some stuff to get to another area, and our country's so thick and hard to get through that I don't care if you're going 200 yards and you're moving kind of slow, you can be really exhausting yourself and building up that lather, so it's nice when you can shed a layer and put it in your pocket, or put something on, once you stop because you're getting cold, because it's cooling down, it really is like, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, awesome conversation, Nate. I'm thrilled to unpack kind of the history of Troubadour and hope that people will jump on social media, check out the pictures, and really stay tuned and enjoy this podcast. And we got some more stories. You heard Nate mention the bull Big Dodge. We'll have Nate and Kenny together here to kind of jump on another episode, share that story and some other hallmark. Yeah, we got the video here that we'll be posting on our YouTube channel, but show some of these racks here, Nate. Do a little panorama. Yeah.
There he is. That's Big Dodge.
There he is.
And then
yep.
There's the pan bull.
Tom Hamilton.
Yep, Tommy boy. Of course, he got pretty cool because he got the horseshoe bull and the pan bull within 200 yards apart. And then you harvested a beautiful 50-plus inch bull. What was it, 51?
He was 48, actually. 48 on the nose,
okay,
just
48.
under 50.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice bull, and all in the same area, about probably,
right there.
Right there. 58 piece. And there's the sweet bull. Another stud. Then we got a couple. Hold on. I'll spin around here, make everyone dizzy. We got this guy here. This is kind of got the light in the way, but so that was the winner of the fight, and Aaron got the loser of the fight, which the loser was he was the better bull. And then we got this this
Yep.
this here. And this bull we call Chocolate, but we never pursued him. So just
Really?
one of those deals, you know. Can't get them all. and some of these
Can't
bulls,
get them all.
we lose track of some of these things, and we don't see them again. You know, we get on to something else, and sometimes we get them incidentally. I mean, I think we actually took.
Mm-hmm.
I think this year or last year, we actually took some bulls that we had pictures of the previous year that we weren't even really focused on. And I think we got a couple last year like that, you know, so that happens too, but it's awesome. It's all fun.
Right.
This is great. Chris,
That's right.
Just so fun doing this with you. And I'm excited for a little throttle therapy.
A little throttle therapy.
Out.
It's coming. It's coming. Awesome. Well, thank you, Nate, so much for sitting down, sharing details, pursuing these awesome animals. Always enjoy sharing these stories. Love doing this, and looking forward to unpacking those other stories coming soon. So with that, folks, thank you for tuning in. As always, be safe, be well, and God bless.
Thanks, everyone.